Wow, we just got some big news. We just found out that Rupert Grint, who played Ron Weasley in the 8 Harry Potter movies, is coming back to play that same character in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Welcome to Movie Flame, I'm Morgan Ross, and today I'm going to tell you everything that we know about this, go over my own thoughts on this, and yeah, just talk about it in general. I apologize for the very unprofessional look of this video. I'm currently on vacation with my family, but I felt like I had to hop on and just talk about this because I'm very excited. I'm sure other Harry Potter fans are excited, and I had a lot of people asking me to make a video, so I was like, you know what? I gotta do it. Some people are napping, other people are making dinner, so yeah, figured I'd just hop on before we sat down for dinner. First of all, one thing I want to talk about is the most recent thing that Rupert Grint has done in his career. And if you look at IMDb, he did one thing in 2026, something called Nightborn, and then the only thing he did in 2025 was an Ed Sheeran music video. And before that, he was in a TV show from 2019 to 2023. So he has barely done anything recently. So yeah, it's not like he has a lack of things in his career. I'm sure that he is very, he chooses his roles very particularly because he can. He made so much money from the Harry Potter movies. It's like Daniel Radcliffe. Like, he just goes out and does the weirdest movies and TV shows. He does whatever he wants because he has so much money and, you know, he had the fame, he has the clout. Rupert Grint has the same. So yeah, he's chilling, dude. Like, he doesn't need to do anything in his career. So I think he saw this opportunity and was like, you know what? Harry Potter has a lot of hype right now with the HBO show, with the full cast audiobooks. So he was like, you know what? The fans are craving it. I kind of want to go back to the role, and in a minute I'm going to read you the quote that he said about this. But yeah, I think he was kind of like, he's at that point in his career where he's like, I don't need to do anything. Emma Watson stepped away from acting. Daniel Radcliffe, again, is doing whatever he wants. So yeah, I think it's exciting. I think he thinks it's an exciting opportunity, and I think most Harry Potter fans are going to be excited about it. But now let's look at the nitty-gritty of this. So I've seen a lot of people excited that Rupert Grint is going to be playing Ron alongside Tom Felton. But unfortunately, that is not the case. If we look at this article, it says, and this article is from Deadline. I'm not going to be able to show it because this video is so raw. I'm literally just filming. But yeah, I'll read it to you. It says, Rupert Grint, who played Ron Weasley in all 8 of the Harry Potter films, will reprise his role on Broadway this winter, following the footsteps of the movie's Draco Malfoy and current Harry Potter and the Cursed Child star Tom Felton. And if you didn't know, I actually saw Tom Felton on stage like 2 months ago. Yeah, they invited me to go see it, and I don't think they knew that I was like the #1 hater of the Cursed Child. I think if they had known that, then they probably wouldn't have invited me. But yeah, it was cool to see Tom Felton, and I got to meet him, so yeah, that was cool. And now, am I gonna see it because of Rupert Grint? Yeah, probably. I'm more excited about Rupert Grint being in the Cursed Child than I was about Tom Felton. So yeah, obviously I'm gonna see it. But yeah, going on, it says, like Felton, Grint will portray the grown-up version of the role he originated as a child in the films, but the two will not share the same Broadway stage. Grint takes on the role of Ron Weasley for 17 weeks, beginning Tuesday, February 2nd, 2027, and continuing through Sunday, May 30th, 2027. Felton is currently in the show and is expected to exit on Sunday, January 3rd, 2027. So obviously this move, I'm sure Broadway reached out to Rupert Grint. I think they knew that sales were gonna plummet when Tom Felton left. So they were like, what are we gonna do? We need to do something. So they probably reached out to Rupert Grint. And this was like their plan to keep the Cursed Child going. I talked about this in other videos, but the sales for the Cursed Child were definitely going down, which is natural. Like, the show was on Broadway for 10 plus years, I think, when Tom Felton joined. And obviously it's going to go down, but then they wanted a resurgence, so they brought on Tom Felton. And now that Tom Felton is leaving, I think a lot of people were like, without Tom, no one's going to want to see it. But now they have a backup plan and they're having Rupert come, which is really exciting. But yeah, they're not going to be on stage at the same time, which is disappointing, but also like, I get it. It also, I don't even know how much money it would be to have both of them on stage at the same time. It would have been cool. But anyway, let's look at the statement that Rupert Grint had. He said, "Ron Weasley has been a part of me since I was 11 years old, and I can't wait to meet him again in this stage of life. There is something so full circle and so special about stepping back into Ron's shoes now when we are both fathers." That's so nice. It is somehow both very familiar and completely new. And the joy of being back on Broadway, this time in a role that defines so much of my life, is truly exciting. And yeah, oh wait, is there more to this quote? Yeah. "The first time I saw the Cursed Child on stage," he continued, "I was blown away, and I can't wait to set foot back on platform 9 3/4 and pick up where I left off. I am overjoyed to join this exceptional cast and crew at the Lyric Theater this winter." So the Lyric Theater, that means that this is going to be in New York. It is not going to be in London, which is also where Tom Felton was. So yeah, just looking at that, dude, like, yeah. So I remember he got an Instagram solely when his son was born and then to promote his movie or show with M. Night Shyamalan. So yeah, it's cool. Like, he is your bona fide father, which I love. So it's nice to see him give a little quote about that. Also, one quote that I want to bring up is, this was in the behind the scenes of the Harry Potter movies. I think it was at the very end that they were filming Deathly Hallows Part 2. And Rupert, Tom, and I think the twins, the Phelps twins, all went out to golf. And there was this quote from Rupert where he said, everyone pictures him as Ron Weasley now, and he's the only one that still pictures Ron as somebody that's not him. So I just thought that was a really interesting quote. But anyway, let's move on to what the producer said. It said, in a joint statement, producers Sonia Friedman and Colin Callender said, "Rupert Grint's performance as Ron Weasley in the 8 Harry Potter films defined for generations what it meant to be a loyal and brave friend, even in the face of adversity and hardship. We, along with all the Wizarding World fans around the globe, watched Rupert grow up through his portrayal of Ron while preserving the qualities at the very heart of the character, his humor, his bravery, and of course, that unmistakably cheeky grin." And then the quote continues as they say, "In joining our extraordinary company on stage at the Lyric Theater in New York City, Rupert is not simply visiting a role from his past. He is continuing a journey he began as a child and carrying it forward with all the life and experience he has gained since filming concluded." And obviously now, filming concluded back in 2011. So yeah, that was, shoot, I gotta do math on the spot. That was 15 years ago. Should have been easy math, but yeah, where were we? "Including a career that has taken him from film to television to acclaimed stage work on both Broadway and West End. His return creates a powerful bridge between the story audiences first fell in love with and the story of family, legacy, and a passage of time that Harry Potter and the Cursed Child carries forward. We feel enormously privileged not only to welcome a world-class actor to our Broadway company, but to welcome back the actor who made Ron Weasley so beloved." Yeah, that's a really nice statement. And yeah, them hyping up the Cursed Child. Obviously, I don't like the story of the Cursed Child. I've been very vocal on that. I think I've been one of the leading voices in saying that the Cursed Child is not the best story. But we're not going to talk about that here. We're talking about Rupert Grint. And as I said, yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to see the play. Not sure when, but I'm definitely going to see the play just to see Rupert Grint. As I said, like, I was excited about Tom Felton joining the cast, but not as excited as I am to see Rupert. Rupert was always my favorite actor, I think, in the Harry Potter films. I don't know if I've ever voiced that, but yeah, he was always my favorite actor in the film, so I'm excited to see it. The article then talks about how Grint has been on Broadway before. He made his Broadway debut in 2014 in the production of Terrence McNally's It's Only a Play, and he did it opposite Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane. Wow, big names. And the article also talks about some of his other roles, like he did a lot with M. Night Shyamalan, and actually, M. Night Shyamalan actually lives around the area where I am, around the Philadelphia area. I pass his house a lot. And I actually grew up in this town called Radnor. And yeah, Rupert Grint was all over there. And dude, I just missed him by a little bit so many times. There was a restaurant that opened actually in the town where I lived, where I moved after I moved out of my parents' house and graduated from college in Ardmore. And he was there literally 10 minutes after I was there. He left 10 minutes after I arrived. So, and guess who he was with? Freaking Daniel Radcliffe. I miss both of them. And then there was this small place called Manila's that we would always go to after Radnor football games. He was there and I was there the next day. I found out, I was like, dude, are you kidding me? And then there's this thing called the Devon Horse Show, which I've always had a box to growing up. And yeah, I found out that Rupert Grint was there. He left about 20 minutes before I got there. So I've just barely missed Rupert Grint. So now it's time to finally see him in person and see him on the stage. I'm excited. I'm sure most Harry Potter fans are excited, even though The Cursed Child is a pretty garbage story. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. I'm very excited to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, I'm sorry for the low production of it. I kind of just jumped on camera while the rest of my family was doing whatever. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.